host of the Gridiron.
All right. Well, Boogeyman went bye-bye. But we did add a D tackle. So, Boogie Basham, right? He never really materialized. It was kind of some hopes. He was a high draft pick, right? Coming in. You kind of hope maybe he could find a spot, but get a role, maybe if he would dress, maybe you get some chances and all that. It's the same thing we had with Buffalo, just never really materialized. It is what it is. Some guys works out, some guys does, some guys don't. Maybe Boogie will get cut, maybe he'll go someplace else and they'll find a role for him. But it just didn't work out. It is what it is. There's so many guys. It's just after a while, it's like your head spins. Guys coming and going. You need a scorecard to keep track of all this stuff. But the Giants, they wound up adding the Armon Watts. Now, Armon's been around. What is he? He's not real old. So he's 28, 6'5", 307. He was a 6th-round pick, though. Right? What was it? Was this last year? Yeah, last year. Well, let me share my screen here. We'll see. Well, yeah. Let's see here. If I can. Oh, there we go. Right. So. Last year. This is what he did last year. 77.3 overall. He was only in it for 286 snaps. So nothing. He wasn't like a starter. He didn't play every down. Yada yada yada. You look here. What do you have? 34 snaps was his high against Houston, week 4. He had 28 snaps against Jacksonville, 27 here against Cleveland, 22 against Arizona, 22 against Green Bay. So. He was a sub. Guys needed a break. He went in there, right? He didn't do too bad overall. 77.3. His run defense 75.2. His tackling, needed a little bit to be desired. He missed some tackles, but his pass rush is 65.6. Look at it like this. He had 17 pressures. Pass rush, right? 155 snaps. He had 17 pressures. So that's about 1 out of every 9 pass rushing snaps that he participated in. He got a pressure. That was last year. Not too shabby. But, once again, that was with Pittsburgh. Okay. If you got real good players around you, that's going to free you up, right? That's going to make you look better, right? But didn't do too bad last year, right? If we look here, but then if you go back, all right. So that was with Pittsburgh. Let's go the year before. A little bit different here. All right, a little bit different here. Let's see. He was with Chicago. You see here, he graded out a 49.2. Once again, his tackling needs a little bit to be desired. Not super spectacular. They had some good. He had a 60 here, 64, 65, 65 overall, a 75, 63. Not bad. But he also had a couple of clunkers here. He had a 29, a 38, right? He had some 40s in there. So you got the good and the bad. Right. Let's see where we at here. Now, looks like he might be a 3 technique or a nose tackle. So he can maybe relieve Nacho. He can relieve he can relieve Sexy, right? So let's go. Let's see where was he at. Let's try. We got 2021. Let's go back one more season here. Right. 2021. This is with Minnesota, and I say he's bouncing around a little bit here, right? He graded out a 61.6 overall. Now, here he played a bunch of snaps, 669. He had 33 pressures. Not too bad. He had 414 pass rushing snaps, and he had 33 pressures. So, I mean, that's like 1 out of every 13 or so, pass rushing attempts. He got a pressure. It's still not too bad. On 1 out of every 13, I mean, if he played every snap, he would have 2 or 3 pressures every game. Well, that's not too bad. That's not a world beater, but that's not too bad. What did he have? He had 5 sacks, according to PFF here. Right? So, right. It's not a horrible pickup. Not a horrible pickup. 6'5", 307. Now he's not going to be much of a nose tackle at 300 pounds, but it is what it is. But then again, he's a 6th-round pick. Right? He was what with Minnesota, Chicago, and Pittsburgh. Right? So I mean, but obviously, with him, Armon Watts, right? This is his 4th team in 4 years, right? Minnesota, Chicago, Pittsburgh, now the Giants. So in 4 years, he's been on 4 different teams. So, once again, you got to take all this stuff with a grain of salt. But I said it didn't work out for the boogeyman, but I'll have to wait and see what Mr. Armon Watts can wind up doing there. Basham had 0 pressures across 95 pass rushing snaps as a Giant. I mean, that's just, it's like, Jiminy Crickets. Giants waive edge rusher Boogie Basham on Tuesday, according to Jeremy Fowler. Acquired Basham from the Bills, right? Late 2003 for a 2025 late round pick swap. Basham played 194 snaps last season and just 16 snaps, all in week 6 against the Bengals this year. Obviously, Joe Schoen was on the Bills staff when he drafted Basham out of Wake Forest in the 2nd round. So there was the familiarity there. So you're kind of hoping that maybe, Schoen was familiar with him. But, I mean, they picked him in the 2nd round and they wound up swapping late round picks just to get the guy. So things were really not working out too well for him in Buffalo. And they worked out probably even worse here with the Giants. He just never carved out a role for himself. So to fill the roster spot vacated, the Giants signed veteran defensive tackle Armon Watts from their practice squad to the 53-man roster. So Watts 6'5", 307 pounds, nice length. He's in his 6th NFL season. He was added to the practice squad last week, so they brought him up, elevated him from the practice squad. So, we'll have to wait and see. Now, once again, just because they added Watts to the 53 does not mean he's going to dress, because you got 50. I mean, they don't dress 53 guys, so they elevated him. So we'll have to wait and see. Keep an eye on him. But once again, every team does it. Every team picks up guys. They take flyers on guys, takes a chance on guys, and sometimes it works out. Sometimes it don't. For the boogeyman, just didn't work out. So we'll have to see Armon Watts. As some of those numbers there's some nice little potential there, right? But once again, he for the most part, he's just somebody who goes in and relieves Nacho. Or Sexy Dexy. So we'll have to wait and see.